0 issues since I started doing this. Can you explain this gap in your resume? No, I signed an NDA. I could die and my job would get a Ouija board and ask if I got someone to cover my shift. Gen Z's not lazy, they're just refusing to put up with the toxic work culture that boomers created. Yeah, that and a few other issues. The rising economic tide. Corporate executives. Profits are up. My compensation has doubled. Look at me. I'm walking on water. Wage earners. Wages are flat. My buying power is shrinking. I'm not even treading water. Geez, $5 is extortion for a pay stub. Central office fees effective March 1st. All employees will be charged $5 per page on the following requests: pay stubs, prior year's W-2s. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so if you want to print out any important stuff, $5 per page, I guess, or I don't know. I want to be rich means 1, you want to get rid of the alarm clock. 2, you want to leisurely spend time with people you love. 3, you want to stop worrying about the rent or whether you can buy healthy food. 4, you want to be able to help. 5, you want to do more of what you love. Told my boss I quit and he's not going to pay me. Can't just not pay me because I didn't show up. That's illegal. You have lost and damaged more than you have earned. Do the math. I said you are just as responsible for ensuring nothing happens to property and Zach has no issues paying $200 of the charges. I am charging you $60. Then I FT my $125 dolly. Then the damages you and David cause are going to be split. After all of that plus the lost route today, you won't have made anything for the past few days. Thanks for it in writing. Yes, I can. It's not illegal, and I told y'all when you started, if you don't show up, I will charge y'all what they charge me. You're welcome. Thank you, too. Labor laws, bro. Even puppers get it. What has your pet accidentally conditioned you to do? One of my dogs has several barks, a play bark and a squirrel bark, and the other dog things that are normal dog barks. He also has what we call his emergency bark. The emergency bark is what he does when he thinks there is serious danger. It is extremely loud and makes us jump every time. He usually reserves it for things like the time I fell down the stairs and he scream barked for my husband to help, or when someone is in our front yard, or when he cornered a possum in the backyard. However, since my husband started working from home, this dog barks his emergency bark at my husband if he tries working past 4 p.m. My husband now has learned to stop working at about 3:50 every day to avoid that jarring sound. Maybe people who meditate for an hour a day are happier because they live a life that affords them an hour a day to meditate. A 10-day general strike would accomplish more for the working class majority than a century's worth of elections. It would represent an immediate momentum shift by bringing the capitalist behemoth to its knees. Our true power is in our collective labor, not in a voting booth. Cafe workers. We are unionizing. Owner, lol that I'm selling the cafe. Cafe workers proceed to buy the cafe and turn it into a workers' co-op. Talk about a best case scenario. CEOs are hugely expensive. Why not automate them? If a single role is as expensive as thousands of workers, it is surely the prime candidate for robot-induced redundancy. So weird how nobody ever asks how we pay for the endless wars or the billions in tax breaks we give to the richest people on earth, but the second someone mentions policies to vastly improve millions of lives, Grandpa breaks out the fucking abacus. Sometimes I forget that Elon Musk has always been a privileged rich kid, and Elon Musk's daddy owned an emerald mine, and Elon Musk walked around with jewels in his pockets, and Elon Musk didn't start Tesla. He just ousted the founders, and Elon Musk has never invented anything. Sometimes. You guys should get more labor protections from your government. When I moved from the USA to Germany, I eventually completely changed jobs to a rather large and well-funded German company. The kind of company in America that you'd say, oh, they'll have good benefits. I asked them during the negotiation phase, so what are the other benefits? I didn't see them listed in the employment contract, and they looked at me like I was an alien. They had no concept of what benefits were. I asked about healthcare and days off, sick leave, etc., and they told me, we just do what the current regulations enforce, which is unlimited sick leave, 30 days of vacation plus holidays, and we will pay for whatever healthcare insurance you have purchased. It was one of those moments where I really realized how much of a f***ed up bubble the USA is. A nurse from Wyckoff Medical Center in Brooklyn. I don't know if I said that right. Please don't call me a hero. I am being martyred against my will. So I and a few others on the schedule are being punished for something we weren't even on site for. Is this wage theft? A $5 off register for yesterday. I think it's time to take all bonuses off the table until this store can learn to balance registers. Yeah, that sounds illegal and not cool at all. Because I can't decompress at home? You need to detach and psychologically recover from work, professors say. The solution? Commuting. Okay. Grad schools doing illegal stuff. From Twitter, from a friend. Dear Temple student, as a result of your participation in the TUGSA strike, your tuition remission has been removed for the spring semester. You now owe the full balance listed in TU Pay, which is due by Thursday, March 9th. If your balance is not paid in full by the due date, you will be assessed a $100 late payment fee, and a financial hold will be placed on your student account. This hold will prevent future registration. Jesus Christ, that sounds messed up. Interesting list for minimum wage pay and outdoor labor. If you answer yes to any of the following statements, please don't contact us. You are grumpy in the morning. Your favorite place is under the covers in your mom's basement. You are afraid of heights. Don't try to fool us on this. We will know right away. You are a victim, a whiner, or complainer. You smoke at work. You do drugs, or you drink heavily. You look like a tattoo parlor experiment gone wrong. You can't lift heavy stuff without sustaining a back injury, or you are a wuss when it comes to cold or too hot out. Right, so the people running this job or whatever the hell are just actual heads. Inflation will remain sticky for a decade, and Gen Z and millennials are to blame, an investment chief says. Will young Americans' spending habits be what causes inflation to stick around longer? A woman makes $80,000 selling nudes on OnlyFans to pay for cancer treatment. It really sucks that you have to do OnlyFans to make the kind of money you need to treat cancer to not die. And I'm not saying that against OnlyFans creators. I support sex workers. Hell yeah, I'm all for that. I'm saying it sucks that people working other jobs, minimum wage, whatever, if they get something like this, they cannot raise that kind of money, and they're going to, suffer. And it just sucks. But yeah, good for her though. 64% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, 15 million children experiencing food insecurity, over 567,000 homeless people. Meanwhile, U.S. billionaires have added over $7 trillion to their wealth over the last decade. Media, look, a balloon. Handcuffed and jailed at 93 years old in Florida for not paying the rent at her independent living facility and refusing to leave once evicted. How do you have the heart to evict a 93-year-old woman out of her house and arrest her for not paying rent when she's too disabled to even work and can't make any money? Y'all really some heartless animals. Just had a call with someone on Forbes 30 Under 30 list and came away really impressed. He shared with me how he made VP at a top tech company before age 30. 1. 4:30 a.m. wake up. 2. Cold showers. 3. Gratitude journal. 4. Meditate. 5. Dad owns tech company. No paid sick leave for you railroad workers either. Meet CEO of Norfolk Southern Alan Shaw. His net worth is at least $11 million. He lives in a 8,000 square foot mansion. He poisoned a small town for profit. Let's make him famous. The upward redistribution of wealth over the past 40 years has shifted $50 trillion from the bottom 90% to the top 1%. That's $50 trillion that would have gone into the paychecks of working Americans. The greatest trick of all is trickle-down economics. Guys, help. I told an employee he sucks, and now he says we aren't BFFs anymore. How to handle distant employee after performance review? So I recently gave a poor performance review to an employee, and he is since working much faster. We started a deadline and daily check-in system, but has become much more distant. He always eats with the team and now claims he has to go somewhere on his lunch break. He usually suggests coffee with me in the morning and has abruptly stopped. It seems like he's avoiding me and sitting as far away from possible from me in the office. He also has abruptly stopped dressing up for work. It's not compulsory, but he has usually come into the office in a suit. When I talk to him, he is still polite, however. How would you handle this? How do you feel about someone who does the bare minimum? Sit down. We need to talk to you about quiet quitting. Sex work is real work, unlike being a landlord. True. It works. 92% of companies keep it. Burnout down by 71%. Sick days down by 65%. Revenue up 1.4% on average. No question about it, the UK's 4-day week trial was a huge success. It's time for the 4-day week to go mainstream. Tell employees we can't afford to pay more. Brag about record profits. Every company. These people are clueless. Millions of US workers are still missing after the pandemic. Where did they go? Manager asked us to share something difficult about our childhoods for team bonding. What ensued was deeply uncomfortable. One coworker sobbed while sharing that her father molested her when she was a toddler. Another shared that her mother died of cancer. It's one thing to gradually learn more about someone over time. It's another thing to force trauma bonding. I don't need to know the depths of someone's past experiences to work well with them. It's a workplace, not a family. Worst icebreaker ever. Minnesota House passes paid sick and safe time bill for all workers. I employ 4 people full-time. How am I supposed to run my business if one of them takes advantage of 24 weeks paid leave and I'm required to hold their position during that time? What if 2 of them take advantage of this leave at the same time? Activision just announced removal of work from home options and is denying applications for working from home permanently to people with disabilities. Mass walkouts ensued. Thank you for reaching out. As mentioned on today's town hall, Activision is requiring employees to return to office beginning April 10, 2023. Our working model for Activision QA in El Segundo, Austin, and Minneapolis requires employees to be in the office 3 days a week and work remotely 2 days a week. The expectation is for employees to be within a reasonable commute to the office they were hired for. As a result, there are no permanent remote work opportunities within QA. Why not though? Why not? Why do you need everyone to be at the office when they can do their job at home? Why? Genuinely why? Activision, you are stupid. I'm so done with this petty asinine bull. 11/28/22. You guys are not allowed to be eating and or snacking for free if you are not upper management, which are general manager, DMJ, gym, or ops. If I catch you eating my food, it will result in termination, but other people are allowed to eat it? Oh, and then there are no more call-offs allowed without a doctor's note turned in. After the third call-off without an excused note, I will result in termination. Also, you guys need to watch your money handling and drive times and do extra cleaning when slow cameras will start to be reviewed daily out. God, shut the f up. I don't understand why can't you just tell them instead of typing it all out in all caps like a fucking baby and plastering it everywhere? Like, dude, talk to your employees. There's probably a reason that they hate you and you hate them. Well, no, you probably just hate them because you're a Anyways, sorry, moving on. 6 signs you'll be a billionaire. 1, you grew up rich. 2, you have sociopathic tendencies. 3, you only care about yourself. 5, you love exploiting workers. 4, you're great at union busting. 6, you receive government subsidies. Bankers earn more than teachers and nurses, and I couldn't tell you a single thing a banker has done for me, but I can name a million things that teachers and nurses have done for me. A homeless man in New York City would regularly order an expensive dinner at a restaurant and refuse to pay for it to be sent to prison where he would receive 3 meals a day and a clean bed. He refused to commit more severe crimes to get longer sentences as he did not want to hurt anyone. What is the biggest lesson that employment has taught you? Efficient workers got punished with more work. Pizza shop is hiring, just non-stupid people. A lot of people we've hired just don't want to work. There is no work ethic behind them, so that's the meaning behind the non-stupid. Oh, so they actually put non-stupid in their, flyer, say, hey, we want people to work for us. That's wow. One of the biggest landlords in Los Angeles just defaulted on $755 million in loans for 2 skyscrapers as remote work keeps offices vacant. Next level micromanagement. 28, as stated in the job description, we require an IP We require an IP camera setup to provide a live video and audio feed of your workplace during the shift timings. Are you comfortable with this setting? No. I received this email from my company today. They're holding a company picnic and we're expected to pay for all of it. How would you personally handle this? Our second annual company picnic will be held at blank amusement park on July 30th, 2023. Tickets are $24.95 per person. There will also be a lunch meal that will be $12.72 per adult and $9.54 per child. Lunch meal will be hamburgers and hot dogs along with 2 sides. Kids will receive hot dog and 2 sides. Meal includes pickles. Blah, 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 blah. Why? Why do you have to pay so much? My employer is demanding my newborn's birth certificate even though I didn't take paternity leave because my employer doesn't offer it. More than anything, I want to know why HR is hounding me for it. I took a week of paid vacation off for when he was born. I got a call a few days before I was going to take the time off from HR saying word got to her that I'm having a baby. She said I'm eligible for FMLA and she just need my son's birth certificate. I said I wasn't planning on taking unpaid leave. Her response was, well, send it anyway, you never know. I've been back to work for 4 weeks now and they're still hounding me for it. I'm starting to suspect my employer gets some sort of tax break if they categorize my paid vacation as FMLA leave. What gives? Time. I have a master's degree, 16 years of experience, work 2 extra jobs, and donate blood plasma to pay the bills. I'm a teacher in America. The greatest resignation is now the great regret. 80% of job hoppers wish they hadn't quit their old roles, with Gen Z the most regretful. I am the only customer service rep scheduled today for a $20 billion company. Good morning, blank. You are the only one in MD inbound right now. Try to keep you after call work to a minimum so customers won't have to hold so long. Thanks. With exploding technology and increased worker productivity, it's time to move toward a 4-day work week with no loss of pay. Workers must benefit from technology, not just corporate CEOs. People almost never talk about how lifestyle creep when you begin to make more money is not so much spending on luxuries, but rather all the life maintenance things you couldn't tend to before that end up being really expensive, like dental work or car repairs. Guess who no longer works at home? Got pulled into a meeting today with my boss and was informed that I'll be required to come back to site permanently even though I was hired as a work-from-home agent. She asked if I had any problems with that, so I told her I don't have a car and I live 30 miles away. Her response was to say, the company is not required to take into account your transportation needs. Then she just hung up. I don't know what I'm going to do. That's really cool how like jobs can say, hey, so we're changing this big thing about your job, literally, like we know you were literally hired on to work from home, but hey, guess what? You're working at the office now. Oh, you're 30 miles away? Oh, well, that sucks. Bye, and hangs up. Like, okay, what the f do I do now? American, I have 2 jobs and still can't make rent. We need a living wage. GOP, living wage? Go to college. I can't afford tuition. Ask your parents. They're still in college debt. Get a job. I just told you I have 2. Be born rich next time. They want a cashier who's a college graduate, has a diploma, transcript of records from the uni, within 20 to 30 years old, a minimum of 5'2" height, why? And the salary be minimum wage. Urgent hiring, cashier, qualifications, college graduate with diploma and TOR, female, 20 to 30 years old, why female? Minimum of 5'2" height with pleasing personality, preferably with experience in cashiering for ex-SM employees, blah, 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 blah. It's why is it so specific when you just need a cashier? A new Iowa bill would roll back child labor laws, allowing 14 to 17-year-olds to work in mining, meatpacking, demolition, operating guillotine shears, and other dangerous jobs. Under the business-backed bill, employers wouldn't be civilly liable if kids are injured or killed. Yeah, that makes total sense. Disney just announced that its theme parks made $2.1 billion in profit in the last 3 months, yet the company recently said their best offer for workers at Disney World, who are paid so little that some live out their cars, was a $1 raise. 97% of workers voted to reject it. You call your boss in the morning to say you will not be in due to not feeling well. Your boss wants to know specifically what is wrong with you. What do you say to make your boss instantly regret asking? That's a really personal question. Can we keep this conversation professional? And if they push it, my pee bleeding. Do you want pictures as well? I was in an accident due to California blizzard. Stranded overnight in snow, no cell service, my boss's response. Are you okay? Was another vehicle involved? Where are you currently? Yes, I'm okay now. There was a car under a tree with a semi parked in front of it. I slid on black ice into the semi and ended up with my car resting on the guardrail. Gosh, glad you're okay and sorry about your car. Did you have to seek medical care? If you're okay now, how come you didn't report to work or make contact prior to your shift? Also, if you're okay, where are you now? Jesus Christ. They don't actually care at all. No billionaire has ever worked as hard as someone who needs 2 jobs to make rent and has to go home to take care of their kids and clean their own apartment. Not even f***ing close. Thank you for your encouragement, commitment, investment, involvement with driving sales and beating plan by $6 million. You are very appreciated. Yeah, it really feels like it. The bank says I can't afford a $1,200 mortgage, so I pay $2,000 in rent instead. It obviously doesn't, or there wouldn't be so many protests around the world right now. Young laid-off workers need to know that shutting up has value. Wow, thanks. Leaving without giving 2 weeks notice changes last check's hourly rate to minimum wage? All employees who leave employment with blank understand that it is policy to give a 2 weeks notice before leaving our employment. If a 2-week written notice is not given, the last paycheck you receive will have all hours worked paid at the state minimum wage, currently $7.25 per hour. See Separation from Employment and Employee Handbook Revision, January 2019. 16 and 17-year-olds should not have their paychecks taxed because they can't vote. Taxation without representation. World's largest 4-day workweek trial finds few are going back, and about 1 in 6 employees in the study said no amount of money would convince them to return to 5 days a week. Should I send this email after a bad screening call? Is it worth potentially losing an opportunity? Dear blank, I would like to respectfully withdraw my application following my negative experience speaking with your colleague Sandy. Sandy arrived late and unprepared. The bare minimum level of professionalism I expect from a recruiter is to respect my time and to have read my CV before the call. To be then asked whether I would accept £20,000 less than the expected salary I set out when all Sandy knew about my experience and expertise was the 30-second summary I'd just given her was insulting. I found the entire tone of the conversation belittling and condescending and centered around pay, and it's left a sour taste in my mouth. I'm disappointed as I applied because I'd heard good things about blank as an employer. However, I don't think I can continue in this process with a company that has made me feel so undervalued at the very first interaction. Best wishes, blank. Dude, I could read these all day. Like, I want to see the responses. I want to see, like, these employers be, like, bewildered, like, whoa, how dare you speak to us, you peasant employee? Like, dude, like, I love when people stick it to the employers and be like, yo, you are wasting my time. That's the good shit. Boss is tired of all the complaining. Good morning, ladies. So I have been hearing a lot of complaining lately. Let me make this very clear. 1, if you have a problem with the wage you get paid, please feel free to have a discussion with me. The wage you all receive is fair, I'm sure, especially when it comes to house parties, etc. If you have a problem with me and I hear anyone speaking about me negatively, this will result in loss of shifts and or job. Sounds like someone can't handle criticism. I have heard so much crap being said about other staff members and myself. I will absolutely not put up with the going into busy season. The bullshit talk stops now or find another job. Bizarre study finds pizza motivates employees more than cash bonuses. That is a load of horse. It's that easy to be a billionaire in the USA. Finland ended homelessness. They provide a small apartment and counseling with no preconditions. 4 out of 5 make their way back into a stable life, and guess what? It was cheaper than allowing homelessness to continue. Good luck trying to be a billionaire over there.